myself giggle, so I know mic is working. So yeah, good morning, everyone. Oh, I can't believe that this is finally happening. I'm so thrilled to be here. This is my first in-person ng-conf, and I'm super, super excited. So I'm going to talk to you about one of the most critical aspects of Angular today, which is Angular route guards. And I know setting up route configs can be very tricky. They look scary, right? But I have tried my best to make it as simple for all of you to understand. So before jumping into the topic, let me introduce myself. So I'm Saumya. I'm a senior software engineer at Cisco. My amazing teammates are here. So I hail from New Delhi, India, and I live in a beautiful city of British Columbia, Canada. I have been using Angular since the very beginning, like 2017, I guess. And I have been loving it so far, like all these new features coming in Angular. I'm just super, super hyped for it. So, kudos to the Angular community. So now, jumping into our topic, let me set up the scene for all of you. So imagine you have built a beautiful kingdom, and you have some secret treasures and spots in that kingdom. So similarly, in our web application, those treasures are our routes, right? And just like in your kingdom, you want anyone to be like wandering around, knocking from one door to another, right? You want it to be secure and safe, and for that, you need smart and trustworthy guards. So guards who can like keep an eye on all the entrance and exit and make sure that who's going in and out of the application. So Angular provides us those route guards. So they are those trustworthy sentries. They have only one job, to check if someone should be allowed in the part of your app. So whenever someone tries to access any of the routes in your application, their question would be, are you even supposed to be here? And if the question to that answer is no, they will kindly escort you out of the way. Now, let's make it even more simpler. Let's think of it as being in a nightclub. There are bouncers, right? So the bouncers would be checking for your IDs. They might be checking for your dress code. Or if there's a guest list, so like, they will check, are you even part of the guest list? Now, and if you are, like ready to go, they will let you enter the nightclub. So route guards do the similar kind of job. They make sure that you are allowed to be inside the application to access all those routes in the application. So Angular offers us so many different kinds of guards, and each one of them has some special role. So these route guards are canMatch function, canActivate function, resolve function, canActivate child function, and canDeactivate function. Why I'm using function again and again? So basically, earlier we used to have class-based route guards, but now that has been deprecated, so we should be using functional guards from now on. So we will be talking about each one of them in detail in the upcoming slides. So the first one is the canMatch function. It is our legendary Pathfinder. So it is the first line of defense. Imagine that we are trying to organize a secret event in an unknown exclusive location. So we don't want everyone to be knowing about the location, right? We want it to be secret. So here, canMatch does that work. So it's not about checking if you have the ticket to the event. It's about deciding whether you can even know about the event or the location of the event. So canMatch takes care of that. Moving on, we have canActivate function. So following the similar analogy, what canActivate does is that it checks for the ticket. So basically, you would know that there's an event going on, but the guard will check that if you have the ticket for that event so that you can get inside the event. And if you have the ticket, then it opens up the gate and lets you in. Another one is the resolve function. It is the oracle of preloaded knowledge. Now this guard is a bit like a wise old man who already knows what you need, even before you ask for it. So basically, it fetches all the data that you need even before entering the route. It is done so that user experience is smoother and faster. But hold on a second. There are two sides of a coin, right? So using data fetching in resolve function can be an overkill in all the scenarios. So we should be very mindful when we are using it. I will give you certain scenarios where we should avoid using resolve function. One of them is real-time data. So we should avoid resolve function for the data that changes frequently. We don't want to go to the component and by that time the data is stale. Another one is minimal data needs. So skip resolve function for trivial data fetching that does not significantly impact your user experience. The third one is we should definitely avoid complex dependency or those sequential API calls in our resolve function. They just make the logic very complex, and it does not serve user very nicely. Another one is whenever there is an immediate user feedback required. So we should be avoiding resolve function for that because the resolver delays route navigation and transitions. And the last point would be optional data. So if you think that your data is not necessary for the component to be rendered and it can be fetched at a later stage, we should avoid fetching that data in the resolve function. Now let's talk about another one, which is the canActivate child function. So these are the guardians of inner realm. So imagine that you are already inside that nightclub. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. So you're already inside that nightclub, and there's a VIP area in that nightclub. So you can access the nightclub, but to get into that VIP area, you need a VIP pass. So canActivate child, it takes care of that. There are certain sections in our application which have premium content, so it guards them. It makes sure that you have all the extra rules and security implemented over there, and then you can access those premium sections and content in our website. And last but not the least is our canDeactivate function. So canDeactivate function is the mindful escort. It is that thoughtful one which makes sure that, are you sure you want to leave when you're leaving a route? It checks that, are you done here? Did you save all of your changes? Or you just accidentally click that back button? We all have done that with forms, right? So it's basically to prevent mistakes and make sure you're ready to move on. Now, since we have talked about all these guards and a little bit about their work, so let's talk about real-life examples where we can use them and the differences of their usage. So canMatch function, it's great for using it in feature flags. So if we are toggling the features based on a feature flag which are under testing, canMatch is a great option for that. canActivate function can be used for checking user authorization, authentication kind of stuff. And for resolve function, if, for example, if you want to preload some user information before going to the user route or user profile page, it can be used for that. canActivate child, it ensures that the user has right subscriptions for your premium content sections. So that is best to use for that, those child routes. And canDeactivate function, as I just said, that when you're filling out a form, so you can use that so if someone leaves the form, you can ask them that, hey, have you saved your changes? Do you actually want to leave the form? Now, the biggest confusion. And this is the inspiration for me to submit the talk here in the first place. canMatch or canActivate? Which one to use? They sound pretty similar, right? But they are not. And I will give you 3 features or 3 key points based on which you can decide which one to use and when. So the first point is the timing. So knowing something, like knowing when to do something is as important as knowing what to do. Now, canMatch, it is our first level of defense. So it acts as, it helps in deciding if the path should even appear for the user. Whereas canActivate, it is a final checkpoint for that route. So the path is already matched at that point. It only checks for user accesses or permission or whatever conditions we are checking, and then it lets you inside the route. So let's look at this navigation diagram to understand the timing better. So whenever we are parsing an URL, first of all, the very first step would be that the canMatch function will be evaluated. And if the evaluation results in no, then the route will not be found. And in case we are doing lazy loading, the component or the module will not be loaded at all. If it's an yes, then in that case, the route configuration will be loaded. After that, canActivate comes into picture. So you know that your route has been matched, your component has been loaded, and now it will it evaluates. And it can allow and deny the navigation of the route. So if it denies the navigation of the route, then you can redirect it to an authorized page or maybe a login page, and as per your requirements. And if it allows the navigation, then your component, your target component will be rendered. Another key point to consider when deciding which one to use is your scope. So what they actually control. So canMatch determines whether a set of routes should even be considered for matching. It's about whether the path exists based on certain conditions. Whereas canActivate, it decides if the user can access an already matched route. It's about opening the gate to an existing path. One of the most important features of canMatch is that it controls loading of module and component in case of lazy loading. So if it evaluates to false, then your entire module or component will not be loaded at all. Whereas in canActivate, the component module will be loaded. It just controls the access to that route. I love this second feature about canMatch, is that it can allow you to render different components based on certain criteria for the same path. This is an amazing feature which canMatch Guard offers us. Now, the third one is their use cases, like where they can be applied. canMatch is great for broad decisions, like turning feature flags on and off for everybody. canActivate function is used for granular access control, such as authentication and authorization for specific routes. Both are important, but they serve different purposes in our app's ecosystem. So as we can see the code here, we can see that there's a canMatch guard, and it prevents the route from being considered unless a feature is enabled. If the feature is enabled, then the route will be matched, and then the component will be loaded. Another one is canActivate function. A good example would be that here, when the user is trying to go to a profile page, we are verifying if the user is logged in. If the user is not logged in, then we are just redirecting the user back to the login page, that, hey, first you log in, and then you can come in. Now we have talked about all these guards. Let's see all of their order of execution and how they work out together. So it starts with canMatch function, setting up the stage by deciding which routes are even in play, and then we move closer to our destination. Then canActivate steps in. It ensures that each visitor has a right to enter that route. Then once the route navigation has been confirmed, then resolve function kicks in. It fetches the necessary data which is required for the route. canActivate child gets evaluated whenever we want to hit the child components. So whenever we are entering a child route, it starts evaluating. And canDeactivate, that's the last one, so it only acts when you're leaving a route, and it makes sure that you have all the data in place and you have saved your changes or whatever action you want to perform using that guard. It is a well-orchestrated sequence ensuring our application is secure, efficient, and user-friendly. Now, so this is my favorite example. So we were talking about our kingdom, right? So this is our kingdom code. And I have set up different parts of our kingdom and how we can use these guards to secure our kingdom and different entrances and exits of our kingdom. So the first part is castle. And we can see here that there's a child route under castle, which is the throne room. So if the user wants to access castle, we can see that there's a guard, canActivate guard, which will check, can the user even visit the castle? And if it is true, then the castle component will be loaded. Now, if someone wants to go to the throne room, that's the child route, in that case, the canActivate child guard will be triggered, and it will check that if that user can visit inside the castle. If yes, then they will be able to enter the throne room component. Another section of our kingdom is the town, and it has a nice apothecary. Now here you can see that we are using resolve guard and can deactivate guard. So resolve guard makes sure that whenever user reaches apothecary, before that, all the merchandise is loaded so that they can see all the list of merchandise and everything. Now, when the user is ready to leave the apothecary, then can deactivate function will be triggered. And it checks that if the user still have any items in their basket, if they want to check out and something. Now, this is my favorite part, which is the magical chambers. So you could see here that it's the same path, magical chambers, and it is used for rendering two different components. One is knight's quarters component, and another one is wizard's tower component. So if you are a knight, then the same path will take you to knight's quarter component. Whereas if you're a wizard, the magical chamber, the same path, will take you to a wizard's tower component. So canMatch help us decide that, which is an amazing, amazing feature of canMatch. Now, so since you have seen that we have all the guards in place for our kingdom, now our guard is very well secure and safe, and it's a very well protected kingdom. So user can go where they're supposed to, and they are kept out of the places that they are not supposed to be. Now, as we near the end of our journey, it's not about understanding these guardians, it's also about inviting them into your kingdom. So you have the power to shape the destiny of your application, to make it a place where users can explore with confidence, knowing that they are guided and they are protected at every turn. So let's step up and be part of the guard team. Let's take control and make our Angular applications the best that we can. And now, as I conclude my presentation, I want to express my gratitude to this wonderful audience for being so patient and for your attention and participation. And a huge shout out to my husband and my fellow Cisconians for their immense support. So thank you so much.